Hey up guys, what's going on? And welcome back to York City. Now it has obviously dawned on me since I clicked stop recording on the last part of this. If Swansea do worse than our result, we're promoted anyway. So I'm in two minds about how to proceed with this. The team is going to be identical to the end of last time. Now Swansea are away at Oxford, so I would expect them to win that one. But we all know how Football Manager goes. It's 1-0 Burnley after 3 minutes. I think I can proceed with this just being a highlights. Of course it is. I mean, you need to see this in 3D because it's ridiculous. Barkhuizen comes through. Dutra decides to go for a slide tackle. I'm glad he missed, to be honest, because he would have been sent off if he hadn't. 10 eccentricity, so sort of slap bang in the middle, but the rushing out's there. Yep, okay. Not completely out of statistical character. I do notice the fact they're not playing Berkey as number in their goal this time round. I don't think he was your problem, to be honest, Burnley. Didn't like the fact there's a player called OK, though. Now, Swansea are losing as well, so I might have to start talking about this in slightly more depth. Now, to be fair, there's only been one highlight I haven't actually commentated over since you saw that goal. It's been quite dull, otherwise, despite the stats. It's 2-0 to them. I think we're safe. I do love the fact that Timothy Weah is playing for Burnley and fighting for survival in the Championship. I don't think that's how he saw his career going, but he's assisted Barkhuizen for his 19th goal of the season and the second of this game. So, yep, I think we've lost this one. It's Burnley out of nowhere. Stoke are beating Middlesbrough, so the title's gone as well at this point. Victor Shots pulled one back, and all of a sudden, there's a chance we can actually get promoted here and now, which is a bit awkward. But 81 minutes on the clock, and it's Victor Shots' 31st goal of the season. Show on this right-hand side, which seems to be where everything starts these days. Straight into the box, straight onto Shots' foot, and straight in the goal, really. Swansea still losing as well. There's a free kick in injury time. Where's this going? It's gone in the goal. It's disallowed. Oh my god, we nearly got promoted there and then. And for a game that I've sort of 3/4 commentated, I nearly regretted my decision. Well, it's 2-1 to them. I am disappointed. Now, there's 2 games to go, and obviously we have a 6-point advantage. So at this point, we just need a point from either Preston or Stoke, and for Swansea just not to win either of their 2 games remaining. But as I said, does give Stoke the title. That's the game where they score 3 goals in injury time. I'm just going to interrupt that disappointment by bringing you the news that there is a player called Felipe Pitbull right now. Just thought you'd like to know. It amused me. Probably amuses all of you. He doesn't look half bad, to be honest. I'm getting him scouted. We have 19 goals on Swansea as well, so unless we lose these 2 dramatically and Swansea win these 2 dramatically, we're fine anyway. It does require a 9-goal swing in both games. I don't know why, but Burrows is getting appearances at West Ham. He's had 3 starts and an average rating of 6.2. We've mugged them off completely. I think he had a per appearance option as well, which is why that now says 9.5. We've made nearly 10 million off him already. 6.2. West Ham, once again, still the best signers of players in the Premier League. I mean, this feels a slap in the face. We just lost, and we've got 2 defenders in the team of the week. Are they drunk? I can't remember if I mentioned it in an actual episode, but Igor Akinfeev was manager of Preston. I know I took a screenshot of it, and I put it in a few Discord servers, but it's been a while since I've been blindsided by a managerial appointment. I had no idea who was manager of Preston, and then it popped up in one of these press conferences last time we played them. He's moved to Schalke. He's actually not a bad manager, really. Pitbull's gone to Los Angeles, by the way. I mean, for obvious reasons, that seems incredibly fitting. Now, the good news here is we actually have our full first team available to us for what seems to feel like the first time in about 3 months. So, for Preston, we have Dutra, Ingler, Medina, Edgar, Shaw, Wilson, Carlos, Velasquez, Madeira, Ebersbach, and then Shot up front. It's the full first 11. Oh, it's nice just saying that, really. Preston with a 4-4-2 and quite a lot of new gens. I expect you to control the midfield. I expect you for quality finishing. You don't have 30-plus goals for no reason. And we have a highlight after about a minute. Ebersbach on this right-hand side. Punts it across to Velasquez. Can we stop doing that? It's fine, but can we not do that as often as I see it? Shot is through, and I'm not even sure if he actually got a touch on that. It essentially continued on the same trajectory as the pass. Now, Swansea played last night, so their victory is already in the bag. They beat Middlesbrough away from home in what was actually a massive match. Couldn't beat Oxford away from home, but they've beaten Middlesbrough, who are in 5th now, as a result of that, away from home, which has given Sunderland a shout as well, because they've slipped out of this promotion hunt entirely, almost. And in fact, as the results are going, Middlesbrough have slipped out of that top 6 as well. Huge here. 73, 73, 72, 72 with 1 game to go. If it ends like that, that's going to be a hell of a final day for this lot. And a point sees us promoted, of course. So this 0-0, whilst dull, is the minimum that we need. Let's win this one for the fans. We are at home, of course. And whilst it's goalless, we actually have had the better of this match so far. They've not had a single shot on target. Fulham are beating Stoke. Of course they are. Now Stoke lose. Of course, in fairness, Stoke have lost 10 games. It's not been a dominant performance by any team in this division, despite their big wins in recent games. Still 10 losses for both us and Stoke. Obviously, it's these draws that have cost us. And here comes another one with 70 minutes to go. This might as well been just a highlight talk because there's been nothing to talk of. Carlos Gonçalves. Now, provided we get this point here, or maybe 3, I will bring you just the goals of the Stoke game. I feel like I should bring you it considering it's first v second, but with it holding nothing of importance anymore, provided this stays as it is, of course, and they don't score with their only shot on target. There's a penalty, there's a handball. I will bring you the Stoke game in some fashion, but it'll just be goals. And then, of course, season wrap-up. Now, Madeira hits Rudd, but it goes in, thank God. There we are. That's 6 points clear of Swansea, regardless. It's 4 points anyway. But Madeira, Rudd doesn't really move horizontally, but he does go, still goes up and rotates. Weird save. Non-save, I suppose. Shall, though. Carlos. Think about substitutions, nearly. Madeira smacks at the defender. That might be the highlight. It might have been a block. Although Carlos, another block. And then a hoof over. And Preston are being restricted to 2 goals. 2 shots. And Preston have been restricted to 2 shots in this game so far. Evers back, 68% fitness and a yellow card. Off you come, son. Just preserve Shower Rye back as well, I think. Just see this one out. Doesn't even matter if they equalise at this point. Although that said, England, straight to them. What a terrible throw-in. Madeira, that was one of the most ferocious clearances I've ever seen, though. The velocity that just cannoned straight towards Gonçalves in the middle of that pitch. I don't think I've seen a clearance like that. Medina, England, still won't because it won't be included in any highlight here because it's been too long ago now. England, though, again, to Gonçalves, again, cross to Littler, who I've just brought on, and pay attention, mate. Higginson all the way through, straight at Sergio, and they've had a shot on target. If they'd equalised from that, I would have been mad. Not a big deal. 1-0, efficient, and we're promoted. And this last game means nothing to anyone in the top 2, or even Swansea at this point. I was not expecting that transfer budget. Jason, are you feeling okay? I know you write off our debts every year. I mean, the wage budget, still quite restrictive for Premier League standards. Bear in mind the top wage people in this division are 1.2 million. The 30 million, I mean, obviously I can shift that over to wages, which is probably what's going to happen, but 31 million? There's actual Premier League teams that don't get that kind of budget. In the wake of York's shock promotion. Oh, hello, we've slipped back to 6th. What's happened here? I mean, we were predicted playoffs-ish at all points of this season. Thanks, Shal, after tattling on me every time I got aggressive in the post-match. In fairness to the lad, he did rally the boys. Oh, we've had that through. Felipe Pitbull is Premier Division. It's so annoying that he's just moved. I want to sign him now. Can I sign him? Please, can I sign him? I wish I'd been alerted to his existence earlier. Now, of course, we need to get through this Stoke City match before we get any end-of-season stuff. Now, the one piece of good news is we're actually not at the bottom of the list of championship sides in terms of reputation. Even Oxford, who have been in Division 2 years and only spent 1 year in League 1, they got promoted in the first season and then spent 2 or 3 years in the championship before they came down. So I'm very surprised to see their reputation below a League 1 side, who haven't managed to actually get out of League 1 yet. We're still behind a team like Sunderland, who have only just got out of the championship League 1 themselves. We've been intrigued to see where this moves us before the end of the season. Stoke, the best championship side, and they're promoted now, so they'll do alright. Looks like Huddersfield will go down, so we won't get that one, but we may, it's not certain yet, but we may get the Leeds derby. I'm sorry, Igor Akinfeev is not the weirdest manager. I just saw the news. Sofia just sacked David Luiz as manager. This world is weird. He's not that bad either. Sorry, I keep getting distracted by random bits of news. Aberdeen have made the Euro Cup 2 semi-final. Okay, it's Euro Cup 2. That's what threw me off, because I knew they were playing I saw the Man United thing, I assumed it was the Euro Cup. They had to beat Motherwell on the way through as well. Alright, well done Aberdeen. Now, whilst of course I'm only bringing you the goals in this match, I did think it'd be nice to bring you the team sheet where it's first team, except I'm not playing Carlos. I'm playing Lascelles, because this is likely going to be his last start. He's still contracted to us, but when we move to the Premier League, he's already the 7th best central midfielder we have. Carlos is one of those, but he's already behind other central midfielders in this sense. And whilst we do love the lad, and I would like to just keep hold of him just for sentimental reasons and stifle his career, I don't know how many starts he's going to get going forward. So I'm playing him now. Why not, eh? Smallwood's on the bench as well. Like, I'll let a player like Nassel start, but Smallwood, that's pushing it. 34 minutes into the game, Xiaonan's been injured, and I'm tempted. He's the only player that's natural at right back, but Edgar's a better right back, statistically, and Lentas is a less bad depreciation of that position, basically. Medina is regarded better than Edgar at this point, by the way. He has developed over the course of the season, which is pretty nice to see, and Madeira smashes wide. Stoke have scored with their first shot on target. It's 68 minutes into the game. Up until this point, I thought, they've just gone on holiday. You know, they sealed the title a while ago. Suarez clean through, nabs Lentas, and now I'm regretting not putting Smallwood at right back. Actually, Medina's had a bit of a shocker all round. 6.4, I'm bringing Smallwood on for him. Ends 1-0 to them. They had a little bit more of the game in those last 20 minutes. So not that last match mattered at all. Swansea didn't win either, so 5 points was the gap to them in the end. And Sunderland nipped back into 4th after not being in the top 6 at the start of the day. What a remarkable playoff fight that was for everyone involved. Swansea didn't need that 94th minute equaliser, they were there regardless. But they denied Watford the chance. Watford fans, man, they are going to be hurting after this one. End of season stuff. Now, Victor Schott has made the... He's made the first team, but he's made it on the left wing, which is odd, but Madeira is on the bench, so that's probably why that has happened. And Wilson Conservas is taken over the defensive role. All fair additions to the 11 this year, I think. Although Victor Schott is a striker, but that's fine. Edgar is the fans' player of the season. Victor Schott, top goal scorer, is not 7% behind, and Velasquez 23%. So Velasquez not too far behind, in 3rd, in fact, despite the fact he had, obviously, an injury for a little while. Signing the season, Christian Best for free. I suppose loan signings don't count that one. Velasquez is young player of the season, which doesn't make sense because Victor Schott counts in that lot as well, so never mind. Match of the season, winning 3-0 at Fulham. Moment to forget Blackburn. Yeah, I'll agree with it. I will agree with you for that one. Morgan Boys retired as a player at 24. I mean, he was atrocious, but that surprises me. Daniel Williams retired at 24 as well. He was actually quite good. End of next season, fight bravely against relegation. Okay. Continue remaining is the minimum. Except, of course. Oh, it's too ambitious to fight against relegation again. Okay. Bear in mind, I didn't say we're good enough to avoid getting into a relegation battle. I said fight against it. Just work as hard as possible. There we are. That's turned everyone around. We're fine. Never bother with those. I don't know why I should have done that. Oh, we get to choose where we go. I mean, Portugal seems fair, considering. Got to give back to the community, really. Stadium expansion by 599 seats. Right, so there's clearly a minimum involved here, probably 12,500. Get a new one. I mean, I was already doing this, but okay. And we've increased the youth category rating. I think this is the reason why we get our youth intake so late, by the way. I think it must be something to do with the categories. Like, obviously, the ones with higher categories get their intakes first, and so on and so forth. That must be something to do with that. I'm not entirely certain on all this. This was happening already. Obviously, it has to wait till the end of the season for the construction to begin. Apparently, it needs 600 seats to cost 2.8 million. Don't understand that. I could get 600 seats for cheaper than that. There's still some money things going on that I have not yet seen. I think once the player final's done, we'll get the money for the championship and second place, if that's the thing. Big news in regards to sponsorship, though. We have got a new sponsor, 2 new deals as well. In total, 3 more million per year isn't too bad. So there it is. Sunderland make a very surprising return to the Premier League with a convincing 4-0 victory over Swansea in the playoff final, after only being promoted to the Championship this year as well. That was nearly us last year, but we messed that one up. Collective bonus being paid. Haven't got the money in yet. So Schott was top goal scorer, 29 goals. Velasquez, young player of the year. Congratulate. And Victor Schott and Dutra made the team of the season, mostly made up otherwise of Stoke and Swansea. Right, so I'm fed up of waiting to find out how much money we get for playing in the Championship this year. It's not come through yet, but average ratings for the season. Velasquez was actually the best player over the course of the season in his 26 starting appearances. Obviously hampered somewhat. Victor Schott, 7.27, along with Carlos. Identical average ratings for the 2 Liverpool loanees there. Edgar, not too far behind with Shal, Wilson, Squires, who stepped in quite nicely when Velasquez was injured. Overall, a bit hit and miss, really, but Borges did well in his 12 starts. Nacelle did well in his 14. Isidoro Medina, breakthrough season for him. 42 appearances, over a 7 average for him. Fantastic from him. Even got a goal in that process. Madeira, 7.08. Again, a little bit hit and miss, but 7.08 average for the season isn't too bad. We've always had issues with that left inside forward role, so not bad overall considering. England did well on loan as well. And then the other end of things, well, usual suspects really. Alonso not actually impressed that much, to be honest. And then again, perennial off the bencher, so that probably does affect that rating somewhat. Dutra, 50 appearances, average of 6.84, which is good for a goalkeeper. 19 clean sheets. It's not that bad. But you got to look at this right-hand side now. Tony Ebersbach, 6.95. Just under a 7. It's not too bad, but again, not brilliant either. 3 goals, 10 assists though, 26 starts. Similar kind of appearance range as Velasquez, but far worse overall. We might be after looking at that right-hand side for this upcoming season. And yeah, those goals, of course. Victor Shot, 31. 13 from Madeira. Hugh King only got 9 on loan, which isn't great. Velasquez, 6. Squires, 5. Edgar, 5 from defence. Says a lot, really, doesn't it, about Ebersbach? And yeah, those assists. Tony Ebersbach does lead the assist one, so, you know, not all bad on that front. Shell with 9. Madeira 7, though, as well, to back up his 13 goals. Velasquez with 6 to back up his 6 goals. Squires with 6 as well. Carlos with 5. And then it starts trickling down a little bit. So, I mean, for next season, just quickly going to touch on this. We do need a defender. Medina, I think, realistically has the potential to develop through to a Premier League defender, it says here, so we might persevere with him on one side of it. He is apparently our best defender now. I did try to get Edgar a new contract, by the way. I promised him one at the end of the season. He wanted £30,000 a week, which, no, basically. No, we're not. Carlos, I've already worked out his replacement as a free agent at the end of the year who is going to step into that position quite nicely, so we're working on that one. There is a player who had a release fee. It's quite a high release fee, and I'm knowing whether or not I want to go for it because it does eat up quite a lot of our transfer budget. So we'll see on that one. But yes, because I think Velasquez, provided he stays fit and doesn't get in injury at any point, I think him, along with the signing we get to replace Carlos with, are going to be fantastic starting players in those 2 roles. I think those 2 roles were fine. I think Wilson is fine in the DM role for the Premier League. We could do with a little bit more depth. I mean, if we got a player who betters either of those, and then they're obviously excellent backups, that's okay. I think Madeira on the left, again, similar situation to Medina. Although he is a little bit better to start with, apparently already a Premier League player. Got the space to develop. Realistically, this right-hand side is something we're going to be looking at. Ebersbach, Van Gastel, Velasquez, Ebersbach, Van Gastel, and Paraguay. None of those 3 really Premier League quality, I would say. And up front, of course, massive issues here. Victor Shot, our best player, a lone player. And when we get up there, our link with Liverpool is terminated. So whether or not we'll be able to get him back again is a massive question mark. But he's now operating at a Premier League level. So if we can get him back, we will do. But we would like a permanent striker, that is for sure. There is one that gets released at the end of the year that I am looking at, but he's just waiting to see a little bit longer to see what's going on that front before he makes any decisions. So hopefully we can get him because he's pretty good. 24 years old. I think he could be a member of our side for quite a little while. He does have the quality to be leading on the line for us. In my opinion, we'll see though. Loan signings, first year in the Premier League, loan signings are key though. Obviously, there's going to be some of those when we come back soon. I think next episode I might do a little bit of a retrospective, but I'll put that up on Sunday tomorrow if I do. If not, I'll see you on Monday for all the transfers. Until then, ta-ra.